If you are anywhere near a TV or have a smartphone or any way to get your news, you know what is going on in LA with these wildfires and how it's impacting us here, and obviously how it's going to have long-term implications. The crazy thing is, I'm seeing how this is reported in some media outlets. It's just a way to politicize it and slam dunk on DEI and make things about being woke as a reason why these wildfires are spreading like they are, and the way they are spreading this information like with no context, not that their readers require any context. I am going to get into what is currently happening, but I just want you to see this article, this title from Fox News. It said you see this red at the very top saying Democratic Party. LA County cut fire budget while spending heavily on DEI, woke items, midnight stroll, transgender cafe. We paid the highest taxes in California. Our fire hydrants were empty, but thank God drug addicts are getting their drug kits. That's what they're reporting on. And I know that people are not going to dig deeper to see what is going on with that. They're just going to say, oh, they're cutting the firefighter budget and they're just giving it to transgender homeless people that are on drugs. It's wild how they put all of this together, and it's news. I'm just going to read a little bit of this. While Los Angeles officials were stripping millions in funding from their fire department ahead of one of the most destructive wildfires in state history, hundreds of thousands of dollars were allocated to fund programs such as gay men's chorus and housing for transgender homeless. Deadly fires erupted across Southern California this week, which were amplified by fierce winds that resulted in about 10,000 homes and businesses being destroyed after fire hydrants weren't producing water and homes burned to the ground. Residents began calling out Democratic-led leadership in the state who cut Los Angeles Fire Department's LAFD funding by $17.6 million just months prior. So I started looking at this claim about the budget, and I found this article saying verifying claims about LA fires. Yes, LA cut $17.6 million from the fire department's budget. The LA Fire Department's budget was cut by nearly $17.6 million this fiscal year. That's roughly a 2% decrease from the previous year. So roughly a 2% decrease from the previous year. When someone just says they cut $17.6 million, it's just like, man, that is a humongous number. But when you put it into perspective of what it was as far as the budget, it was 2%. It was a 2% decrease. In June 2024, LA Mayor Karen Bass signed the City of Los Angeles budget for 2024 fiscal year. The LAFD's total budget was $819,637,423. So $819 million over. So it's still a lot of money that was allocated towards firefighters. Okay, it says with over 773 million for fire department salaries and over 45 million for expenses, according to a budget summary published on the LA Administrative Officer's website. This budget serves as a reset, in part by continuing to hire critical positions, including police officers and firefighters, while eliminating some of the department's vacant positions, thereby prioritizing our city family over empty desks, Bass said in a statement. During the 2023-2024 fiscal year, a budget summary shows that the LAFD's total budget was over $837 million. That means that the LAFD's budget was cut by over $17 million, or around 2% this fiscal year. Bass originally wanted to cut the fire department's funding by nearly $23 million, according to a proposed budget published by the mayor's office. So it is still high. They said they were cutting out positions that had empty desks currently, but they still had a seemingly high budget that was not completely different. You see these numbers. So when you put it into that perspective, it looks different than saying they cut $17.6 million and they funded the gay men's chorus. Like that was really like the gay men's chorus was where they shifted $17 million. That's why you have these right-wing influencers or whoever they are that say stuff like, she defunded the fire department, by the way. And whenever an outlet like Fox or the Daily Caller picks up these things and puts it out there without any context, it just makes these people parrot and repeat these things over and over with no context, to the point where you can't even give them numbers that make any of this make sense. I do like that Al Jazeera is just straight to the point with the facts. Before and after photos show scale of destruction from LA fires. At least 16 people are now confirmed dead from fires that have left communities in ruins across LA. The death toll from the wildfires ravaging the LA area has risen to 16 as firefighters struggle to contain the blaze that threatens the city's most famous landmarks. New evacuation orders were placed as firefighters raced against time to stop fires from spreading before potentially strong winds returned. The fires that began on Tuesday, just north of downtown Los Angeles, have scorched tens of thousands of acres and more than 12,000 structures. Firefighters for the first time made progress on Friday afternoon on the Eaton Fire north of Pasadena, which has burned more than 7,000 structures, a term that includes homes, apartment buildings, businesses, outbuildings, and vehicles. No cause has been determined for the largest fires, and early estimates indicate the wildfires could be the nation's costliest ever. A preliminary estimate by AccuWeather put the damage and economic losses so far between $135 billion and $150 billion. Now I want to shift to this Guardian article. It says the LA wildfires are climate disasters compounded. Conditions for a January LA firestorm have not existed before now, writes a meteorologist and climate journalist. An exceptional mix of environmental conditions has created an ongoing firestorm without known historical precedent across Southern California this week. The ingredients for these infernos in the LA area, near hurricane strength winds and drought, foretell an emerging era of compound events, simultaneous types of historic weather conditions happening at unusual times of the year, resulting in situations that overwhelm our ability to respond. So, near hurricane strength winds and drought in an odd time of the year for wildfires. So put all of that together. This is not something that probably could have been predicted when they were doing the budget back in June 2024. So this graph is talking about rainfall, and this is the reason why this drought is so pronounced. If you look at this graph, you see that part in the middle that has a black line with the gray area. That is average. And then you look at the bottom where it's at record low. That's where they are right now. So that's one of the reasons why they're experiencing this ridiculous drought. And then, like I said, the winds right now that are pushing these fires even faster. But instead of talking about the actual reasons for these things happening, you have articles from the red state. You have Fox News, you have the Daily Caller, all of these right-wing propaganda machines pushing things that are just anti-woke, because this is obviously the best time to talk about old things where they were talking about trying to diversify the fire department. So this is the headlines that they put out. LAFD assistant chief made a DEI video that will blow your mind and have you seeing red. So they use that as an opportunity to slam dunk on this woman, Christine Larson, because she is Black and queer. And yes, she wanted to diversify the fire department. But when they put out this video, they're making it like she has been talking about this recently, not that this was an old video that they have dug up just to slam dunk on DEI and calling all of this situation woke. Woke. And now they're pushing their anti-woke. And if they would have had just a bunch of men or just a bunch of white men that they're recruiting, then obviously that's what they seem to be alluding to. So listen to how they connect this. While LA continues to burn due to a series of out-of-control wildfires, the city's fire department has come under fire for its obsession with diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. They include a video with this woman, Crowley, who says she is super inspired to try to diversify the fire department. So then this reporter pulls out this fact. Out of 3,300 city firefighters, only 115 are women right now. So even if they are pushing for more diversity, it's still mostly men. So I'm just putting that out there, just showing some of the numbers. Let me know what you think about all of this. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.